Hello you guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Shelby. I'm so glad you're here, and I hope that you enjoyed today's video. Today's video is in collaboration with two of my very best friends here on YouTube and on Instagram, Kendra and Gracee McCoy. I'll link their channels down below if you want to check them out. Today's video is a homemaker tag, and I know that that might be a little controversial to some folks, especially in an age where women are celebrated for working outside of the home and pursuing career goals, and I'm absolutely all for that. If that's what your heart is called to do, by all means go do it. Kendra and Gracee and I were talking, and we all have a strong calling to be home, and we all have that calling in different ways. Growing up, I always saw myself in a corporate position. I saw myself climbing the corporate ladder and working in PR or marketing and ascending the ranks and being this career woman in a fancy suit. And while I do work for a major corporate insurance company, that idea that I had in my head as a child and as a teenager really didn't work out that way. I think that's fair for most of us, that our childhood dreams probably didn't come to fruition as adults, but I find myself now in kind of a hybrid position of a work-at-home mom. Like I said, I work for a major insurance company. I work full-time from home. I do a typical 9 to 5 workday, but from my house with my toddler with me, which gets a little dicey on the phone sometimes, let me tell you. I've been doing that since 2018. So when COVID hit and everyone started working from home, I was like, join the party, I've been here for a while. It's what works for my family. It's allowed me to be home with my daughter so much more than if I worked in a typical office setting. I had to put her in daycare. And while it has its specific challenges that sometimes make me consider drinking at 10 a.m., it's something I'm very grateful for, and I do feel blessed that I get to spend additional time with her that I would miss out on otherwise. With that being said, Kendra and Gracee and I are all going to answer this set of questions, and I am so interested to see how our feelings differ on everything. Just as a brief synopsis, Gracee is a stay-at-home mom of a little girl. She is a devout Christian. She enjoys homemaking and natural remedies and is really kind of pouring her heart into almost a homesteading version of stay-at-home motherhood. And I love that for her. She's doing such an amazing job, and it's so fun to follow along with her adventures. Her and her family just bought a little house on some acreage, and they are living their dreams, and I'm so excited for them. Kendra is married to her wonderful husband, Bobby, and they live in Florida. Kendra and Bobby are working on starting their family together right now. Kendra does work full-time outside of the home, but really aspires to be a full-time homemaker and eventually a stay-at-home mom. It's an interesting set of perspectives because we have Gracee, who's currently a full-time stay-at-home mom. We have Kendra, who's a full-time working homemaker. And then there's me, who is kind of in the middle because I'm a mom who also works, who stays at home. The first question is, have you ever had someone say something negative to you about staying at home or working from home? I have not. I have always gotten such positive reactions when I have shared what our situation is. I've heard from so many, mostly women that I talk to, that they wish they could do that. I know there are a handful of other guys and gals in various positions that would love to work from home full time, whether that just to be home or to be home with their families. And I would say the majority of them have shared that they wish they could be home more, and that they wish that their job offered an option to be full-time stay-at-home. Number 2, what are my favorite things and least favorite things about staying at home? My favorite thing, honestly, is probably the proximity to everything I need. If I need to go get food, I can walk 10 feet over there to my kitchen and make something real quick versus going out for lunch. I'm also right next to Charlie all day long. I have our house set up where my office is only separated from her playroom by about 5 feet. So she has her own space that she can play in and watch cartoons and draw and do whatever she needs to do and still be close to me, and I can still be present with her. Granted, I'm not necessarily present and engaging with her all the time, but I'm always in proximity, which I appreciate. My least favorite thing about staying at home all the time is that it feels like you never leave work. because you're constantly in all of your jobs at once. You're not at the office and doing your work and then stopping your work life to come home and do your mom stuff. It's all commingled together all the time. And sometimes, especially on days when maybe Charlie's a little bit fussier or louder or more needy or whatever it is that makes those mix a lot more, it can be really overwhelming and feel like you're just constantly working, and you're working at double time to keep up with everything because the phone's ringing at work but your toddler's having a meltdown at the same time. Question number 3, what are my favorite and least favorite chores? My favorite chore is probably paying the bills. I do all of our finances and I enjoy working all of that on our Excel spreadsheet and figuring out what we're going to pay toward what and start working towards some of our financial goals. My least favorite chore is probably mopping. I avoid it at all costs, and however gross it may be, I probably only mop my house like once a month because I hate it that much. Question number 4, what time do I wake up and what time do I go to bed? I am not a morning person by a long shot. You can ask my friend Audrey, she's also my coworker, and I talk to her first thing in the morning 5 days a week, and she knows that it's minimal conversation for probably the first hour of the workday because I just am not ready. On a typical day, I usually wake up when Charlie gets up, and that's around 7 to 7:45, somewhere in there. I typically do everything that I need to do that I can't do during the day after Charlie goes to bed. So from the hours of like 7:30 p.m. to 1 a.m. is when I'm like just buzzing around the house like a crazy person. So my usual bedtime is between 11:30 and 1 a.m. Question number 5, do I put on anything in the background while I'm cooking or cleaning or doing anything around the house? Absolutely. My screen time is atrocious on my phone, mostly because I have things playing in the background just as something to listen to. I really don't enjoy total silence all the time. There are obviously times where I'm just like, everyone hush. But the majority of the time I either have a YouTube video playing, a podcast. I typically have like a drama channel video playing or a video from Emily D. Baker, who is a ex-LA district attorney who covers the legal side of pop culture, and it's just so interesting and I love her style. So if you're looking for a really great channel to occupy your time with, I would suggest her. It's super long form content. Her videos are usually 1 hour to 2 hours long, but that's perfect because that's usually what I put on in my 7 to 11 cleaning spree, and I only have 2 videos to listen to, and then I'm like, I'll clean. Question number 6, do I usually get dressed or do I stay in my PJs? Kind of both. I have PJs that I sleep in. I do not wear those around the house because there's just not enough support. They're great for sleeping, they're not great for walking around because things just go places. So my usual uniform at home is some sort of a legging, some sort of a simple soft t-shirt like this one, and socks and slippers. Question number 7, how often do I do my hair and makeup? Hardly ever, which is funny because I love beauty channels. I love seeing like what people are doing with their hair, what products are out, what makeup people are doing. I consume the content like I do it religiously, and then I probably do my hair and makeup maybe twice a month. It's actually something I like wanted to work on because I do feel kind of like not my best self, but I feel like more confident, and like how I see myself in my head is what I look like when I'm done up, and then you know you walk by the mirror and you're like, ooh, that's not what I thought I looked like today. That happens most days. So I'm trying to get a little bit better about it. Realistically, 2 or 3 times a month. Question number 8, what is the trouble zone in my house or the area that tends to need the most help? I have a toddler, so pretty much anything that she can touch. I think the biggest dumpster fire at the end of the day is either my kitchen or her playroom. Number 9, how often do you find yourself getting distracted? I'm typically not super distracted just because I tend to start my day with a list about this long, and I know that if I don't keep moving, I'm not gonna even touch it. I usually only get through 20 or 30% of what I'm supposed to do in a day anyway, and that's running from here and there and everywhere. I do have my moments throughout the day where I just need to stop and like mindlessly scroll Instagram, but I probably only do that like 4 or 5 times a day. That's probably a lot, but at the same time, like when you're stopping for like 20-30 seconds to like maybe 2 minutes to just like scroll around pictures, it only adds up to 10-15 minutes throughout the day. I usually do most of my scrolling at night when I'm trying to fall asleep, but I've over caffeinated myself to get through the 7 to 11 cleaning zone. So if you see a ridiculous amount of reels posted to my Instagram story, you know what was up. Number 10, do I enjoy staying home or do I miss going to my job in the office every day? I enjoy staying home. There are times when I think to myself, this would be so much easier if I was in the office, mostly because it can get noisy when you're working with your child. It just is what it is. And I am in a job where I am on the phone with customers often. I've become hyper skilled at muting my headset when I know it's about to pop off outside and just doing my best to mitigate the crazy. But for the most part, I enjoy staying home. I enjoy being with her. I enjoy being able to wear leggings to work all the time. And I enjoy not having to be like on and put together and at an office all day long and counting down the minutes until I can leave the building. Number 11, what is my never-ending chore? Vacuuming my floors. We have really dark plank laminate in my house and I love the color of it, but it shows absolutely every speck or thought of dirt. So I vacuum my entire bottom floor of my house twice a day, every single day, because between the toddler and the cats and the husband and me, there's just crumbs and cat litter and just dirt everywhere all the time. So I feel like I'm constantly vacuuming. Number 12, what is my favorite way to relax or have me time? My favorite way to relax and have me time is to get out of my house with a friend. I love going to get my nails done. I love going to Costco with my friend Lacey and just roaming the aisles and finding weird stuff to buy in bulk. I love going and getting a tea at Dutch Brothers. I like just going out and doing something different. I feel like when I get out of that routine and out of that rut of being at home and doing all the work and the mom, the chore and the house things, that's when I get to just take a deep breath and just let some of that stress and momentum go a little bit. If I'm not doing that to relax, I'm probably laying in bed scrolling Instagram Reels because I won't let myself get TikToks. I know I'll spend way too much time on it because I already spend enough time on Instagram Reels at night as it is. Number 13, how often does your husband chip in? My husband works mostly 12-hour shifts right now. When he is home, he is on Charlie duty all day long. He's in charge of keeping her entertained, getting her food, all of that good stuff. The only thing I do pretty much 100% of the time is diapers. As far as the house stuff goes, I tend to be the person that does the majority of those things. I'm also the person that's home the most. So it kind of makes sense. If I ask him to help me with something, he absolutely does. Like, he is in charge of the cat boxes, he's in charge of the garbage, he's in charge of bugs. It just tends to be me throughout the day, just keeping up on things though. Number 14, if I have children, yes I do, how do you find time to do chores? It's either you do them or you die, because if you don't keep up on it, you will pay for it the next day because you didn't do the dishes last night and now you don't have any tiny plates or forks to feed your child with, and they're mad at you and they're like throwing a tantrum on your kitchen floor because they're hungry and you won't give them their plate because you don't have a plate for them, and it just snowballs into stuff like that. So for me, I have to keep up on my crap, because if I don't, then I pay for it the whole next day and I ruin my whole day. This is why I go to bed at 1 in the morning, because that's my golden hour between Charlie's bedtime and my bedtime to do all of that stuff. Number 15, how do I balance being a homemaker, stay-at-home working mom, and creating content, mostly here on YouTube and sometimes on Instagram? I don't do it very well. That is the God's honest truth. I so admire these creators that have all these kids and they have this job and they are posting 2 or 3, 4 or 5 videos a week, and they are on point with their Instagram and they're always on stories and they're interactive and they're responding to comments, they're doing all the things, right? And I'm like, if I can like keep up on the 1 video a week that I promised myself, I'm thrilled. I do not do a very good job at prioritizing YouTube over other things. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if I should be more disciplined on it. At this point, I'm kind of just like, whatever happens, happens. Do what you enjoy, and if it works out, great. Number 16, what is my favorite room in my home and why? I think my favorite room in my house is probably my office, because it's kind of totally my space. It's obviously my work area, but it's where I do my editing, it's where I pay the bills, it's where I just kind of have everything I need to kind of run the back office of life. It's clean, it's bright. To me, it's just a happy, productive space, and I enjoy that. However, we are working on redoing our deck right now, so that might take first place here in a few weeks when I get the furniture. Number 17, what is my least favorite room in my house and why? I'm going to have to give that title to my guest bedroom, mostly because the decor in there is a little like whatever I had left went in there, and it doesn't look great. It also has a weird odor to it because the prior owners of this house did not take very good care of it and also had a dog. So I'll let you put that together in your head. I've replaced all of the padding and the tack strips and my carpet and had it like triple cleaned on both sides of the fabric because I can't afford to recarpet my house. But that room, just, we keep the door closed. Number 18, do you feel like your home reflects your personal style? Why or why not? Yes. Danny is very gracious and he really doesn't put up much of a fight as far as the decor goes. If he could decorate his own house, everything would have really cool color changing LED lights. All the chairs would have cup holders and would be uber comfortable, which I don't necessarily disagree with. But he's like very modern, austere, and I'm more traditional Pottery Barn-esque. Now, I don't have the money to go to Pottery Barn, but we find things that, you know, fit the vibe. I love bright and light decor. I don't really enjoy like dark, cold, modern pieces at all. It makes me feel sad and like I'm in a credit union. Number 19, what does my home smell like? I wonder this all the time because like I know I'm used to the smell of my house, but I wonder what people think when they walk in my house. Are they like, whoa, what is that? I know sometimes it's like that because we do have cats and sometimes the litter box needs to be changed like ASAP. But I think for the most part, my house usually smells like some sort of a candle. Probably some sort of a peony or floral gardenia type of a smell, unless it's fall, in which everything smells like apple spice. I think if I could assign my house a smell, it would be like a clean laundry smell. And last but not least, number 20, what are my strong points and my weak points when it comes to homemaking? My strong points are keeping it clean and organized. I'm pretty diligent about cleaning every area of my house, at least on a weekly basis. Everything gets wiped down and dusted and garbage is out, and all of the check boxes get met on that front. My weak point on homemaking is probably in actually enjoying my house. I tend to be so focused on keeping it clean that I don't actually enjoy the spaces in my house. Like I would rather have my couch look perfectly nice and all the cushions in the right spot than actually sit on it and mess it up. So that's probably my weak point, is that I get a little out of balance. And that is the end of the questions for today. I so hope you enjoyed our chat today. If you did, be sure to subscribe, head over to Kendra and Gracie's channels and see what they had to say. I know they're gonna have such different answers than me because we're just in these totally different walks of life, but I love the friendships that we all share together and how much we support each other, even though our lives are so different. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, please do. That just makes my whole day. Be sure to leave a comment down below and say hi. I'll be down in the comments saying hi to you too. And with all that being said, I hope you have the most wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye.